Hello everyone, Patty Boy here. Welcome back to the grill. And yes, we're welcoming back to my grill because vacation unfortunately is over. So we're back home again. But that's okay. So we finished off our video last week in Stone Harbor on our vacation with doing some fish and other shellfish. But the main thing was the fish fillets and the tacos. So I talked about a couple different ways that you can do them, so I thought I'd make another one to showcase some of the other ways that you can do fish on the grill. So I know from watching that video, you saw how hard it is to do fish fillets on the grill. They fall apart pretty easy. So we're going to talk about a couple other ways. And the one way I know on the video, on the last weekend's video, I did make a comment about the baskets. The baskets are nice, okay? And I got one here that I'm going to show you guys. It's real easy and the fish fillets come out really nice, so I highly recommend it. So let's get going with them. But before we get going, I want to talk to you guys about something quick. First of all, I want to thank you guys for watching everything here, watching all my videos. And I'd also like to tell you that if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them. If you have any tips that you want to give me your tips and I'll share them on here. Or if you have recipes to share, please share your recipes and I'll definitely share them back with everybody else. So, having said that, we just recently had a friend of mine from our hometown in upstate New York that had passed away. And just before he did, a few months before he did, he was on this group with me and he shared a recipe. So I'm going to take his recipe. It's Matthew Schreier. I'm going to share Matthew Schreier's recipe for shrimp. When I did the shrimp skewers a few months ago, he had a recipe for his shrimp. So I'm going to share that with you guys in honor of my good friend Matt Schreier. So let's get going on this. And when we get this on the site, we'll share this and his recipe. So let's get started. All right, so what are we doing? Okay, we're going to do some haddock fillets, and these are the ones that we're going to put in the basket. I'll show you how that's real easy. And then this here is a cod, and we're going to put that on cedar plank. So what do you do with the cedar planks? This setup that I've got here, put your cedar planks in a dish that it fits in water and submerge it. So this bowl right here is to actually hold the cedar planks underwater at least 2 hours before you use them, all right? And what we're gonna do is when we get the grill preheated, you take your cedar planks, put them on there for about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, just get them heated up, get a little bit of char on the bottom of them maybe, and then flip them over after 3 minutes, and then you'll put your fillet of fish on top of the side that you just charred, and then you'll cook them with the lid down for probably about 15 minutes or so. But you know, it's one of those things where we'll check it. So that's the easy part, and this is the other easy part, these baskets. All right, let me get this up here and show you. It's pretty good size, and this was 16 bucks. All right, it's real simple. You just open it up. All right, so let's get this out of the way for you here. Open this up. I got the fillets are all seasoned. And now one of the nice things about the basket is you can put many pieces of fish in here, but you can also put it. So here's a sprig of rosemary that I got out of our garden, you know, and then a little bit of lime. So just squirt a little squirt on there, and that's it. Flip it over. And then there's a little ring here that you lock it shut with. Now, the metal on this is designed to be kind of like a spring. So when the thickness of the meat in there, it'll spring out and it'll give you room for it. It won't smash it, but it'll hold it in place. All right, so we're ready. Let's get this grill preheated, and then we'll get our cedar planks preheated, and then we'll get everything on, and we'll show you how it all comes together. Real simple. You'll love it. You can see we've got the cedar plank on there that's been soaked. Been on there for about 2 or 3 minutes. See, and it's already starting to dry it out. So let's get it off. We got the cedar plank on there. Okay, we're preheating. Cedar plank is in there preheating, and we'll be ready to go any minute now. So if you guys noticed from the last video, from last weekend's video, I had the haddock fillets right directly on the grates, and I think I had 6 of them, something like that, but 2 of them stayed whole and they were nice when they came off, and then the rest of them, they fell apart, broke into pieces, which at the time, as I explained, it didn't matter because we were breaking them up anyway for the tacos. If you want to have patties that stay, or fillets that stay all in one piece, this basket works the best. If you don't have a basket, now you see I've got the cod fillet here, but they've got one little piece that was left over. Easiest way to do that is with a fillet that's got the skin on, like this cod does. So I'm gonna put this on the cedar plank, and then this little piece that was left over, I'm gonna grill it straight on the grill, right on the grates. So just make sure that your grates are clean, and then oil them, and then oil them again for the fish, if you're gonna do the fish right directly on the grill. So I'm done talking, we're ready to get this stuff on. Let's get it on. So we preheated the plank, one side of it. You can see it's getting a little bit of a char. It's getting a little bit of a char on the edge. See the smoke rolling off from it, and it's already starting to warp a little bit, and the back side of it is still moist. I can feel it. So then you take your plank, flip it over, and the part that was grilled down, then you put your, there you go. Now that's where these come in nice, because now I've got it over here. I can turn this down so I don't have extreme direct heat right underneath it, but then I've got this other heat that'll circulate around it. So, and then this is real simple. This is a no-brainer. Just take it, go like that. Don't worry about the handle sticking out. And then the leftover fillet, skin side, right directly on the grates, okay? Skin side down. So what'll happen is the skin will hold it together, and it'll cook it most of the way through, and then you can take your spatula and just give it just a little flip, and it'll work out nice. So carefully put this down so you don't flip that, and then it's just a matter of keeping an eye on everything. All right, so the fish patties, fish fillets that are in the basket and the one that's on the grate, they need to be flipped now because they're right over top of the grates, right over the extreme heat. Whereas if you remember, I turned the heat back over top of the, or that's underneath the cedar plank. So you can also, when you do the cedar plank is mostly just for flavor. You can get it most of the way cooked on the cedar plank, and then you can flip it off of the cedar plank and just get a little sear on it and just finish it on the grates if you want. But remember, you've got a big piece of meat there. It could tear apart on you. So that's completely up to you. But these other fillets, I gotta flip. So let's get these things going. So the little one, like I said, skin down and just give it a little bit of a turn like that, real easy. This here is got the wooden handle on it that's sticking out, so it's not hot at all. Just remember all that metal that's in there, and it's real simple. Just pick it up, give it a quick flip. So, and that's it. But be careful, because that handle, you know, some of the heat from inside could transfer through the handle, could make that handle warm. I grabbed it all the way out at the end. If you grab it closer to the grill, you could get burned, or at least close to it. So just be careful, all right? So this is only going to be a few seconds. We'll get them off, and then the cedar plank, it's going to sit for a little bit longer. All right, so it's only been like a minute since I gave them a flip, and those smaller fillets that are in the basket, and they're ready to come off. So what I do is, this is just a big big tin serving tray that we have. I flip it upside down and I just grab this like this and just set it on there to cool for a few seconds. All right, and remember, all that metal is hot. Please be careful. There. And that's it. Now it is tiny, it's real small, but because it's got the skin on it, held together much better. So, you know, and even with a bigger one, it'll hold together. So we're gonna leave these on here for a little bit. This one cod fillet, because it still feels like it's a little, soft yet. It's not quite done, but let these cool down. Give that a few more minutes. The only directions that you ever have for a big cod fillet like that is to do it in the oven. And it says like 20 to 23 minutes. Well, doing it in here and doing it in the oven are two completely different things. So you're gonna have to gauge the doneness yourself as far as how you like them done. But you know, the fish fillets, they should be nice and flaky and you know how they're supposed to be. We got our fillets out of the basket. And you know, just like I did on the grill last weekend, sometimes they can break, sometimes they don't. Even being in the basket, one of them caught on the wire and broke a little bit. What are you gonna do? And then here's the fillet that we cooked right directly on, and our cedar plank is ready to come off. So I'm gonna take that off and we'll just lay it right here. So I said a few minutes ago that, you know how it should be done. That was not the proper thing to say. So fish, when it's done right, it should be white and flaky, not opaque. And then salmon is a little bit more coarse, a little bit more firm. It's got more of a like a shredded chicken feel to it, but it's a little bit more firmer. And when you take your knife and pull on it, it should be nice and cooked and white all the way through, or pink depending on which salmon you get. So let's get this thing off. Now, very nice. And this is part of the reason why, there we go. This is part of the reason why we take the cedar planks and soak them in water for so long. So the edges are starting to get burned a little bit, and I'm sure the back side of it's got some char to it, but the moisture in there keeps it from, because if they weren't soaked in the water, these things would just go up in flames. It would have been burned off a long time ago. So you can leave it right on the cedar plank and you can cut it up and serve it just like that. Have people come and get their pieces of meat right off the cedar plank, you know, and make a good serving vessel for your fish. But so there you have it, guys. We did fish last weekend, and I talked to you last weekend about a couple different ways, so I got a couple different ways that I showed you. And the basket, I really like the basket. You know, this for today, I did 3 pieces of fish in the basket, but you can hold a lot more in that. Plus, if you get like whole trouts or whatever, you can fit 3 or 4 whole trouts in these baskets with, you know, fruits and vegetables, whatever. It doesn't have to be just fish. You can put whatever in those baskets. They're very nice. To me, it was worth the $16. So go ahead, get yourself some fish, get some grilled fish going, guys. Hey, thanks a lot, and I'll catch you on the next video.